Depeche Mode. He definitely got me into Depeche Mode. I would say that one stuck with me too. And there were a lot of Susie the Banshees, never heard into that. And then later in life, it was Liz. Talked about it so much I thought it was a significant other. So you know, Liz and Cockatoo Twins. So, but the interesting thing is, even as a kid, he was just, you know, when we had a lot of stuff in our family, and I know this is all to be light. I just wanted to touch on a little realness because I do believe the people here are real. Everybody that's introduced myself. By the way, when I came up here 3 weeks ago, I just want to say that I was embraced immediately by people that I never met. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking flying up here, like I was going to sort things out even if there was not a tragedy. My own girlfriend, 10 years knows, she's like, usually you kind of watch and supervise and I do all the work, so what were you even thinking? I was like, I just needed to touch the stuff and be around it and just see and feel Ray. You know, I was in his apartment 4 years earlier, just had a little slumber party for a few days while looking after Mom, and grateful for that time. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you again because there are people. I'm going to share just a couple of things because I think you guys will understand it. There's people I remember back from high school walking in, Teresa Green, Tony, who I always called Duran Tony. He looked like Nick Rhodes of Duran. And then beautiful Jenny Sullivan, who, everybody knows Jenny. She's the woman that just can't take a bad picture. So who played soccer with me. So when I heard one day that Jenny was going to be his friend, I'm like, not my Jenny played soccer. And he's like, oh, she got way cooler. She's like my Jenny. And also one day they're all dressed all different. I'm like, yeah, we didn't wear that on the soccer field. You know what I mean? And, you know, she's stunning. You could put a potato sack on her head and she just looks beautiful. But I knew she was a great person who Ray quickly latched onto and adored. And I know it was reciprocated, and I'll let you share your parts. But I just, seeing this through my brother's eyes as someone young, we came from there was a lot of stuff in the family. I'm sure everybody's got their stuff. And I learned later that Ray, even in high school, doing something that was very, like you said, Lisa, courageous. At the time, I'm a sister. So if you guys can understand, I wasn't any part of beating Raymond up or anything. I was just went through my own insecurities as somebody in high school, like, I wonder why my brother's got, I'm like, is it purple mohawk? Like, how do you make that thing stand up? Sometimes I stood in the bathroom with it because I didn't know how you made something like that stand up. And I could learn a thing or two because my hair was crazy. But then, you know, I thought about somebody having the courage to really stand up and be themselves, the individuality. My brother, who when a school system let you down, you know, my mom was smart enough to have us go to therapy in our teenage years, and we had these IQ tests, and I remember them pulling my mom aside saying that, you want to know why your daughter's in this accelerated program? She's pretty intelligent. Look at these grades and all that. And you know, you could hear a little bit, and I was feeling kind of good, even though today, don't get me started, if I had kids, I wouldn't be into standardized testing. I think they could do more damage than good. And I was feeling good about myself, and then they said, but we need to show you something about Raymond's scores. And my brother tested it, and I saw it in writing. It was called a near genius IQ. And that really explained a lot of things, because I think about things too, like earlier on in life, like when teachers aren't equipped to also help people, you can also get mislabeled in different things, and that can have lifelong ramifications. And I'm certainly not here to lecture anybody on those things, but I'm thinking, but I look back and I think, I bet Ray was super understimulated at school as well, you know what I mean? And, but you know, he was very vocal. I mean, I remember the music. I remember thinking that I was this good girl because I always took care of my one stereo and everything. And if Raymond had friends over there doing this, like, what's that thing called? The bang? Sam did. I was like, that's what it was. He's like, you don't know anything. Vic, you come over all the time, like, move around like a pinball machine. I'd leave the room. But then, you know, he'd be like, oh man, bummer. Like a dresser arm would come off or something. And my mom would be like, okay, we'll just go to Sears and get another one. And I was like, Ray's boomboxes went from this to this to this. I'm still with this little one I got at a garage sale, you know, so, you know, as a kid, you can imagine the dynamic of your teenager. Like, his music is crazy loud, and he can bang into things, and they get everything replaced, you know, and I'm there with the same thing, and you know, and I just remember, you know, I don't know if anybody else here ever had a mother that ever, has anybody had a mother that ever said stuff in front of your friends that you're mildly embarrassed about, like, I can't believe she said that? Yes. So my mother, one day when I was talking to Ray in front of his friends, because then he was also playing Dungeons & Dragons for a while, I mean, Ray is so dynamic, I don't think everybody in this room could cover everything about him, but I was saying about him, I must have been complaining about him having like his 5th set of furniture or something, and my mother turns to me and literally says in front of his friends, oh, Victoria, I'm so proud of you. You still are taking great care of the furniture that your father and I conceived you in. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, and Raymond was like, man! I mean, you guys all know Raymond. He ran received like 25 times that day. Okay. So I was like, thank you, Mom, so much. You know what I mean? And so yeah, those are little things. You know, you grow up and or Raymond letting all your friends know the first time you ever had your period, because that was another embarrassing moment. You know, Raymond's very shy, I'm sure, Sue. You can't picture him ever saying something like that, right? So, yeah, I love Ray, and I love him playing around with him. You know, you ebb and flow in life. I know some of you guys have used this phrase, even of friends, and time cycles. I know, I appreciate the authenticity of the people I've been meeting, that we could talk about how much love and light in everybody that I've been seeing and meeting. Like I said, Teresa, and just even Jenny, and then Tony, and I know I'm missing names because there's so many names you guys have been mentioning, and I'm like, oh, my clients, I know that name, I know that name, that Jean, this thing, and then Colleen, who just became to me, like, just to see her again, I'm looking at her, she's familiar, and when she was helping me a few weeks ago with Ray's stuff, she was like, yeah, dummy, I was in high school, we were all there. I was like, oh yeah. I said, hitting this 50 thing has just been, downhill for me, and but I know she also helped, a lot of people don't know that she helped Ray in school, like when Ray was getting sometimes tripped or something by people, the guys on the football team, you know, those really secure guys, right? I'm sure they'll have total winning careers today, that were probably fear-based hostility to Ray. Colleen was a person walking down the hallway that would stand in between those idiots and my brother. You know, and it might sound stupid to say this, but I'm eternally grateful for that. And you shared other intimate, meaningful stories of me, Colleen, that I knew in another way just how much my brother has meant to you. And when you guys all showed up, I mean, Sue had the horrible task of calling me that morning, which I couldn't believe to find that out on Christmas Eve morning, and I found my brother, and I'm just thinking, wait a minute, I thought he was just signing up for volunteer work. I was going to talk to him on Christmas, like my friends know. I was like, it's so weird when you think about things you think are going to happen, and I know she had to be devastated. I won't speak for Sue, but she's made it a point to really be there and be part of the friendship went both ways. That's up for her to say that, you know, her part, but I know that she, to me, almost played the eye too of like a little bit caretaking, like a big sister kind of thing with Ray, and that had to be devastating to make that call, and everybody, I mean, I show up there not knowing anything, you know, and people are calling me the second day after this happens wanting decisions, and I'm like, I can't even process this, so I can't say enough when I did come here, and I know I'm skipping some time again, but I think I'm just blown away at having, I think it was, that day it was Aaron and Colleen and Carol, the first people, and then Donna came in just helping me with things in there and just sharing some stories, and I could see you guys were all hurt, but you also, I guess I looked at you guys and just thought, wow, these are all, you know, and it was cute. I came up with a phrase at one point saying it's almost like the Carol, what I say was goofy, so something like the grown-up version, like the punk rocker, like it's like, oh yeah, I'm a family woman, I have the kids, everything. She's like, but don't count me out. I could still put my digs on or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, right, and I just thought, they said, Vicki, this is in honor of Ray, you know, he's touched our lives, so many people, and we're just starting to find out now about people. There's so many of you good people in here that some of you don't even know about each other, and it just shows me Ray's has reached out on so many levels. The calls, the texts I'm getting from people around the country, these gamers from different countries, they're like, hey, I'm in China, you don't know me, but I got to tell you, every time Ray would show up online, we got happy because we knew it wasn't going to be a boring night on the headset. I was like, tell me a story. And they would tell me a story. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, that's like, how do you play games again with somebody in China? And then, but yeah, I think things for me, for Ray, just seeing him go from being just that playful person we all knew. I mean, we all have struggles. I knew Ray's. I didn't know him as intimately. Sometimes it's hard when you're a family member because other stuff can get in the way. And there's probably nobody in the world putting more guilt on themselves than me. You guys would have no idea. Because you just, you know, I feel like there's so much more I want to say and do. And seeing my brother, the last time was at my Aunt Virginia's celebration of life, and that was a lady who we just emulated and loved in New York City. I'm sure a lot of you knew about her, and being able to see Ray there, and to think the very last thing was him taking me on a bus to a station, and there's a picture of him holding it back. He wouldn't let me take my bags, and looked and winked at me and just said, I got you, sis. Like, And then there's a part of me that's mad because he promised we would be able to make a go of it and get past this thing with Mom forever. So I don't know if this stuff's normal. I'm devastated. Part of me's even mad at Rayray because I want to look at her and say, you promised you'd be here. And I just love him. Sorry. But anyway, I know we go on forever. I just want you guys to know, it's like, when I meet these people, it's all of you, that's not these people, you. And I want to meet more of you guys because I know some people are making a mention to come over and I want to hear anything you have to say. A video clip, I mean, Ray, I want to share one thing that's funny. You guys laughed, even Jeriel said, I always thought it was interesting, Ray's not a church guy, he had these rosary beads. And I want to just share something because before Ray became the man he was, the little goofball side is, when we were kids, we both were a little animated. I actually was cool, I wasn't just some stuffy jock, but it was like, we would watch this show on Sunday mornings, those shows they saw on PTL, or those guys that would convince people like to, give every penny they ever had, right? So Ray and I just thought it was really funny. We'd blare the TV, my mom would get mad, yell at us, but it didn't matter. We got such a kick out of these guys with all this charisma, working these aisles, telling people, God, I mean, I can tell you, I could see my brother, if we went 5 years without seeing each other, we would go into character right away. He became the Reverend, I became Sister Ann, and because the show was, they would pass these things around, because these huge halls, right? You start thinking $1 a head, like, oh my God, these guys are rich, right? Like, show your love for Jesus. The deeper you dig in your pockets, the deeper we can fill the cans. So Raymond and I would run outside and grab the 33-gallon bag, run around the house telling our parents, show us you love Jesus, Daddy. Dig deeper in the house. Dig deeper. And Raymond would be like, go, Sister Ann. Show him, Sister Ann. You got it, Sister Ann. And I'd be like, I got it, Reverend. He goes, you got it, you got it. And I'm like, oh my God, you too. Where did I find you? But like, it doesn't matter where you found us. Get in that pocketbook, Rosalie. Show us you love Jesus. And Raymond would go actually show it. They'd take a little walk. It was just funny. It was just like, and we just had fun. It became something later, like just about like Reverend Sister Ann. It could have just been that little corny thing, when you don't see somebody and you just break into like a character. So that was a fun one. And the other one, we just became two old people. Don't know how this one happened. And we were Martha and George. So it was either that or it'd be like, we'd talk to each other like, I don't know, I was complaining about something. We were getting up there in age last time I saw him, and he said, oh, Martha, first it's that, then it's the warts on your ass, then it's the corns. And I said, George, how would you know unless it's happened to you? Ooh, I might have some. And it was just cute. It was just kind of like, my mom would tell us we missed her calling. Should have been on Saturday Night Live sometimes. And it was just fun. It was super fun. He was a little brat from day one. I remember going to camps. We went to summer camps a lot, and I was really excited because we found out later in life we had American Indian on both sides of the family, so we thought that was awesome. And because one of the little summer camps we went to had a little Native American flair, I had on my Folgers can a little drum I made, and I loved it. So I would sit there with my little feather headset on, like thinking I'm reliving like all the people in the past. And my brother would snuck into the bathroom with a tape recorder. Do you remember the old school ones where you hit the play and record? And that was another thing, I'm in there singing some corny song, Moya, Moya, singing in the shower. I don't know who comes up with stupid stuff like that, but the only reason why I know it is not because I remember singing it, because my brother made it a point, and thank God for no social media, that everybody that came to the house would see at the top of the staircase going, Vicky, this is her singing with Indian feathers on, and I'd run around chasing him, and he'd run around, and so your brother and sister, those kind of things, you just, all of a sudden you're here, and you're just holding on to anything you could think of, just like, even some of the tough times, seeing our moms, feeling how it's going through some things where we both, it's not the place to talk about it, but I have frustration for some people in the family, because I know Ray had struggles that he would let some people know about, but Ray wanted to please everybody. And Jeriel, we talked a moment ago, or one day, about your daughter, that you said something to me one day, and it just made perfect sense. He also didn't want to let people down. So it was very easy for him to see people and want to share that light to lift you up. It's like he had this keen sense of I know what you need right now. Do you know what I mean? And we all know he's theatrical. You probably couldn't not laugh, I'm sure there are times you shook your head too. And I love the fact that even as I got to know some of you guys a couple weeks ago, you felt comfortable enough saying, I go, you can tell me the real deal. Ray, you got to be able to say the good and the bad, because there's not about bad. It's just about knowing somebody. You know what I mean? I think it was Aaron told me that in the office, if he spoke loud. We both used to have that. I'd have people say Victoria does well in school, but she's just very, very loud. I'm like, have you met our mother? Like, you know, and therapists told us later on, like, just so you know, and defend Ray and me, that when you're out a parent, she was partially deaf in one ear and talked really loud. It's actually a learned behavior. So we both became megaphone mouths, but I think Darren told me if he was yelling loud in the office, they might have just said, you know, shut up, gay Ray, or something. And I'm just thinking, like, he probably got like mildly, weirdly turned on by that and probably kept going. I can only imagine. And I would have hated.
People on the street of Manhattan, they would tell him to shut up.
You know, and I just, God love him. Probably if a kid had 9-inch thick skin, I would just love to see that. So, you know, when I see these pictures, I just, again, I wish Ray's here. I know there's the only blessing I could think of was just seeing that it's memories, making things stand for something. I as me, corny, I always want to find some reason in things. You know, I have a book here that Ray started as a journal, and it's something you would never look at if somebody's alive. I would just, although that little bastard used to sneak into my diary, I will say that. I never looked at anything of his. That's another thing. He was a, you know, you guys love him, and he was still played the part of the little bratty brother when he was younger, okay? So I'm sure none of that shocks anybody here. So I would never have looked at his diary. But I know there's nobody's fault. Nobody could stop Ray. You know what I mean? For anything that we might consider some self-destructive behavior. I guess all you can do is love on somebody a lot and just hope that they start believing it. Yeah, I'll pray forever and just holding on. You know, I think I shared with you guys a little video clip maybe. Was that on a group text or something? We found like a 1-minute video. We went and visited the carousel, Highland Park. Did you guys ever go to Highland Park? So we were on this carousel and we were visiting and just going around, and you could just, he was laughing. Ray had this, the dog had this very hearty, fun laughter, right? Just contagious, very sweet, innocent. Like that part was sweet and innocent, we could all say that. And we're on there, and we knew, he mentioned Lisa's name, like something like, oh, I wish Lisa was here or something. But he turns to me, and this is my brother, right? He also tells friends I had his grandmother's boobs in front of everybody. Okay, you guys get, I should cut some slack for you. I'm like, Raymond, I'm not big like Grandma, I just have Grandma's good posture, so when you're little, you look, even on the video, the one video that I'm loving and see of Raymond, he's just like, oh, the girls. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even send that out to send them. Like, so that's on the video, you guys will probably see. And just so you know, he's talking about, you know, as he would say, your brachiosaurus. I'm like, thanks, Ray. You know, he's like, so, you know, and he would just, and sometimes when we could come off the stuff about family, we could just get a little bit real about things, which I wish more of. Like, I know that it was nice to lay in his bed and just do our little tickle game again. It was nice. All right, him and I both learned a lot about how to touch from our Aunt Virginia, who's at a very young age, just taught us things, body mechanics. It sounds weird, but it's like, even the gym, my friends told my life, you got these healing hands and stuff. We just love to touch and share that. I know you guys know it because I see the pictures. I know you know the dotiness. He just was very loving, and I'm glad I got to just rub on his forehead. He actually let me, you know, and touch his little forehead, and he was always embarrassed about a scar, you know what I mean? And just, even though it made me watch 23,000 episodes of Star Trek, that 4-day little stint at the house, you know, which I now know more about that one generation in the Voyager series than ever, but it's like, and I loved him actually. It just, if you guys have been around Ray, if there's any chance, and Sue, you would know this, if you had a chance at 3 movies, you're hinting towards one, he's like, no, but you would love this one. Now, if Ray says that 3 times, is there any other movie you're going to watch than that one? No. So, and anybody here knows about Raymond's imitation with Joan Crawford, right? He would, when my mother got nasty before later in life, just regular stuff in the house, you know, he would run down the stairs with an uncoiled hanger. And he'd say, no more wire hangers. I mean, he can make us laugh at a heated moment, you know. And it was just, I miss these things. Sorry that this stuff's all over the place. There was just, I didn't really have anything to go off of other than just, I'm here, didn't want to be here. Grateful to meet really wonderful people that I know have loved and cared about my brother. I look forward to chatting with some of you guys after more, and even from Jeriel, who I say later in life, just you know, knowing, seeing these videos of Raymond going to New York City and a great reciprocating relationship here with the two of them, and Ray with the dog. I knew that he loved his dog Isabel, and I know from his journal, like, my brother had dreams, and when you see something later, he was very aware of things that hurt him. He wanted to not have cycling thoughts. I have things on paper saying, he wanted to be in a better financial position, he wanted to be a better friend, he wanted actually more healing with family. He wanted to be able to pursue his aviation. He wanted to go back into Eastern medicine, shiatsu. He wanted to have a home with a dog again. We all know how much he loved Isabel, and he treated her like that was his daughter, and we all know it. I just wish, I think everybody does here too, maybe there's a little more vulnerability with Ray, that we all could have just been let in a little bit and maybe been there for him as much as he was there for everybody. And, but I know one thing, I just drove by a staff building and I see people just, and I'm thinking, wow, he spent time in there, and that's how I met this person. Like, there's so many great dynamic people here. Carol, do you do the board?
Jenny did those, and the other one.
They're amazing. And this is the other thing, I mean, it's a quality company to keep. I know you guys wouldn't let me do anything. I mentioned ideas and you just ran with everything to make everything here. And I know it's a celebration of Ray's life, and I believe that he could be here in his spirit. I think he'd be in heaven or wherever with Virginia dancing and singing and probably making everybody up there listen to all his CDs. I mean, I'm thankful. Please, don't be a stranger and just chat me after. I want to hear from you guys. And I'm going to just be honest with you now. I'm having a 50 pre-senior moment. There was something I was going to say and I forgot it. But I'm sorry I was all over the place. I just wasn't prepared for this. I do feel a comfort when I saw Teresa and Jenny and Tony in the beginning, because they just reminded me of people I saw come into our home just with these great eyes, never judging, even if I wasn't as cool as they were, kind of thing. I said to them, Jenny was my friend first. We did play soccer together, remember, Jenny? We did. You were awesome at that too. God, bitch, you're good at everything. Beautiful and good at everything she does. So, but I knew this. Maybe I just want you guys to know that. I'm a sister. I love him forever, and I love everybody here that loves my brother. Good people, take a little piece. None of you wanted to take anything. I know some of you have a ring or a little cuff or something, Let's let that be a nice spirit of Rayray, because he had a great spirit of life. There's no doubt about that, right? I don't think anybody could take that away. That's amazing. So anyway, please, I want everybody just take some time. I think, Aaron, are you coming? You want to come see? It could be you. Anyway, thanks guys. I just went on and it's all over the place. I'm just very thankful again for everybody's support and being here, and look forward to just saying hello after. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy, for grabbing this. I totally forgot it. I wanted to say, there's not a lot to say really about Ray without knowing about how our family is, because we're all each other's chosen family. Back when we were 19, 18, some of you longer, we were came from different places, not good families. I didn't know why Ray was so loud until I heard his mother in the background on the phone. Then I met Vicky a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, but yeah, we all just came from not, our families weren't there, or they weren't good, or we had this. Then we all just met each other, and created our own family, and we've been friends and family with each other for 28, 30 years now. And it's like, we're constantly in and out of each other's lives. I was probably the most recent of our friends group to be in Ray's life. It's kind of like we're comets passing through each other's solar systems at the time. And it was the last thing I said to Ray. I convinced him we were having a party around Halloween. That our friend Peanut came into town, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have this party. We're gonna all get together, all the fun kids. They can make it. We got together. Ray, I got to his house. I called him because he said he was coming. He told one of the others he was coming, and I called him, and I'm like, he's like, I don't want to leave. I'm like, I'm outside your house getting the garbage. We're going. So, and then on the way back from the party, he was talking about like how much he loved it and how he wanted to do it again sometime soon. I think the last thing I said to him in person was, you know, I love you, Rayray. I'll talk to you soon. And I didn't. But just, you know, thoughts of how we've all been like each other's family. Like we all got together when we found out that Ray had left us. We all got together. And, you know, we got a hold of Vicky. Like, oh, is there anything you need? And she's like, well, I'm coming to town. Don't worry, the punk kids got you. We got you, sister. You're now one of us. Now one of us. And our friend Happy brought her down from Syracuse, and we drove her all over the places to where she needed to be. We helped clean out the apartment. Ray had this amazing obsession with pens. Yeah, so hundreds of pens, so many pens. Yeah, actually, funny. Ray, Vicky's plane got canceled the one day, and then she was there on the next Tuesday, and Carol took her up to the airport, and her flight got canceled again, and I was like, oh, we're never gonna clean this place. Because as much as I love her, we just needed her out of the way so we could do what we did. It's kind of like trying to clean up a child's room when they can see you. And she was like, oh, this is Ray's stuff, so I need to talk about all this. And I totally understand that. We were friends. I lost a brother just as much as any of us. And the thing you said about, shut up, gay Ray, that was years and years ago, way back, not at work. At work, I got yelled at for Ray and I being too disruptive, loudly, because when he first saw me there, he's like, oh, I know her. I can tell you so many stories. It was like just the way our ball of energy was, and got spoken to. But yeah, back in the day, he was loud. He was always loud. And people would be like, shut up, Ray. Shut up, gay Ray. And it's like, you're too gay. You're too loud. And I think it just made him gayer and louder. But, yeah, I mean, I appreciate all my family that's here, my chosen family. All of us are devastated by this. But in this, we're still all getting together, and we've got, Vicky and Missy with us too, so that's wonderful. And that's really all I wanted to say. Thank you all for coming out. I know how much Ray touched you all, and I know he didn't actually believe all the things we said about him, about how wonderful and amazing and funny he was, but I think if he could see us now, he'd realize it.
Thank you.
First, I want to rearrange the furniture.
Really good seat right here.
You'll hear people call me Jen or Jenny. I go by Jennifer now. And I'm winging it also. And I Rayray High School you first. Yes, perhaps I'm in the same way. Treat you baby too. And